Yeah. Love that picture of him there. So cute. I didn't see it on here.
Good evening and welcome to the regular town council meeting for July 15th, 2025. I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask everybody to stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have you to join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Moving on to item number 4, adoption of the minutes. Look for a motion from the council to adopt the meeting minutes from June 17th, 2025.
I make a motion we adopt the regular meeting minutes on June 17th, 2025.
Seconded, moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments from the audience or from the council pertaining to those meeting minutes? There are none, such we're ready to vote. All those in favor of passing the meeting minutes from June 17th, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, resolution, meeting minutes are adopted. Moving on to item number 5. Tonight we are swearing in a new counselor for District 3, Robert Stackhouse.
Yep. I, Robert Stackhouse, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution and will obey the laws of the United States and of the state of Maine, that I will in all respects observe the provisions of the charter and ordinances of the town of Pittsfield, and will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Counselor District 3, term remaining until 12/31/25, according to the Constitution and laws of the state. So help me God.
Perfect, thank you, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Robert. Moving on to item number 6, there are no public hearings tonight. Item number 7, Jack, do you have a town manager's report?
Yeah. Some things to update you on. At our last meeting, we talked about entering into a power purchase agreement for duration of 17 months. We were able to do that. And so we do have that under contract through December 2026. And like we had talked about before, if there's any point we think it's favorable to extend that further into the future, we'll be able to do that. We don't have to wait until this. We don't have to wait till the end of this term. We talked a lot about at the last meeting the potential to get into the Efficiency Maine grant round that was coming to a conclusion by June 30th. We weren't able to get everything completed and submitted by then. The biggest piece was actual building energy assessments had to be done for each site to go with the applications, and the vendor wasn't able to get that all put together by the deadline. I am going to be attending a webinar tomorrow that will talk about what is going to be available for this new fiscal year, July to June. And if we have similar incentives, then we can revive that discussion. But we just need to know, I guess, what the current subsidy will be. And we'll be obviously talking about the theater and the conveyance. And one thing process that I've started is the brownfields program, will do assessments for, properties that may have hazardous building materials, lead paint or asbestos or anything like that. And so I've started the process of getting that assessment done, and what that's gonna do is it's going to create a baseline for a group to potentially be able to utilize brownfield funding in the future, to be eligible. You've got to have that assessment prior to them owning it. So we have that in the works. We'll have a baseline report. I suspect that there's very little in there. But to have that baseline will potentially open up some grant opportunities for the BTEC group in terms of anything the theater might need in that regard. The Maine Redevelopment Land Bank held this quarterly meeting here in Pittsfield back in June, and the directors took some time to kind of look at our downtown, look at our some of our historic buildings, and talk about potential resources for redevelopment projects and some of the things that they could help us with. Also, we have a pre-construction meeting with the culvert projects for Sebastian Cook Street and Crawford Road. That's going to be getting underway in August, and we have a pre-construction meeting with the contractor tomorrow to kind of make sure everybody's on the same page time-wise and things like that. And then last but not least, at our next meeting, we do expect that we'll get an update from Community Heart and Soul folks on that project and how things are going.
Excellent, all set? Yep. Great, thank you, Jack. The department head reports are in the council package for people to review. Moving on to old business, there is none. Moving on to new business. Nicole, can you please read resolution 2569, please?
Resolution 2569, resolved that the town council move the agreement between the town of Pittsfield and BTEC for the conveyance of property on 137 Main Street to public hearing.
Look for a motion from the council.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2569.
Moved and seconded. So there's a potential agreement in place that been worked on with the council and the town attorney and the BTEC group. Is there anything you need to specifically mention?
Yeah, just that, we started off with a draft agreement that was presented to us. That we talked about at our last meeting. Biggest issue I think that the council talked about was including the right of first refusal, and then just having kind of a general legal review. And over the last week, I think our attorney really tried to expedite their process of reviewing it. So we had some initial comments late last week. And then I was able to make those available to the BTEC group. And then I think they incorporated those changes, I think pretty much word for word. And then this afternoon, I got the final revisions, including the right of first refusal language from our attorney, which is really the end of, I guess, their input on it. And I'm not sure whether the BTEC group has had time to really look at that a whole lot, but what the council has in front of it is basically has all of our attorneys' comments in red, and I think we're barring anything unforeseen. I think we're pretty close to a final agreement,
Right, and this is just to put it to public hearing, so we have another month to. If there's anything that is an issue, we can certainly address it or go back and forth on it, but yeah, this is just to put it to public hearing. Yes, sir.
If I may, excuse me, Richard Davis, I'm a member of the advisory committee of the BTEC group, and we have reviewed these latest comments that we just received late today, and it appears that your attorney has not made any really substantive changes except for one, we're very close to an agreement. However, we do not agree with the right of first refusal for the town to repurchase the property for $1. And that's simply because at the point that the group may be willing to convey the property, the town or some other entity, we may at that point have made substantial improvements to the property, largely through donations, which would make it much more valuable than $1. I think we would like to see that amount just left blank, no amount in there, or some wording to the effect of terms to be agreed upon at the time of the repurchase. So we'd rather leave that out of there. Otherwise than that, I don't think, and I don't want to speak for the whole group because they haven't had a chance to meet to discuss this. But from our few of us, from our reading of it, we don't see any other really substantive issues except for that.
Issue with that or?
I mean, I think that's fine. The whole goal is to improve the building, the
Right.
goal is to add value to it. You know, and, you know, presumably, we're gonna, well, we don't wanna be in the situation of reacquiring it, right? We, you know, that's.
Right.
You know, so I think it's, you know, I think it would be fine to, you know, either make the terms more general or even just say that we'd, you know, we would negotiate the price at the time based on, you know, the improvements that were made.
Right, some to that effect, because this group is very active and we're talking about engaging fundraising entities to do this work. So I fully expect we will be able to make pretty substantial improvements to the property within a few years.
Okay, and that's fine to. I mean, whatever, we can make that change and then
We can make
it can be addressed at the public meeting.
Right, because I think, yeah, I think we could make that change, we can bring it to public hearing and then if another idea came up that everybody was in agreement with at the next meeting, that could be, you know, even one last final change and then, you know, then we move forward.
Yep,
And I think,
again, because otherwise I think we're very close to agreement.
I agree, and I think that that's fair. Question about the public hearing, so what does that entail? It'll be at our next scheduled meeting?
yeah, we would just have it under item 6, public hearings, and then if there was any member of the public that really wanted to ask questions or anything, that'd be an opportunity.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Any comments or questions from the council?
I'd like to see the right of refusal with the purchase just struck completely. We don't want to find ourselves in the same position we're in now. I don't know that it benefits the town to then take the building on again, whatever condition it might be in.
It may not,
I
but we
mean,
can
you
refuse
can
it.
always refuse.
You can always say no, we have the option.
I think that having the town be involved, if it's gonna transition again, is smart, just in case we don't know what's gonna happen, but we can always say no.
I don't think it costs anything to have the option, I think we should, I mean, it's.
If they
It's not that
say,
we could, we would or wouldn't, but.
you could say, no, we're all set.
I agree with you,
Move on.
I don't wanna be in the theater owning business either, I mean, I think
Well, I don't know why we
Either that.
I mean, if it came down to, obviously, there's a group of committed people that want to make this very successful. And if it turns out that it doesn't work for them, how does that put the town in a better position to then reacquire a building in an entity that is not being successful? We're back to the same spot that we're in now, even if
Who
they
knows?
made some improvements to the building, then we're still stuck with a building that the town doesn't really have any business running or doing anything with. You know, we should just like sell it to them, do what we can to support what they're doing, increase community involvement with it and be supportive in that way, but I don't think it's in our best interest to acquire this. We keep saying we don't wanna be owning businesses and properties and everything
No,
else.
but I mean, that's the center of our
Nobody's-
main
Like,
street.
we
It's
want it
just,
back at
it's
some
just an
point.
option.
It's an option,
You
that
can
doesn't mean
just
we're
say
stuck.
no, like.
No,
it's
and I
not-
hope the group succeeds wildly, and I feel like they will, the momentum is incredible right now, I'm super excited about it and supportive. I would like to think that the town would be involved if something's gonna change in the future, so that we have the ability to have some input, because that's a really important piece of Main Street.
There's a lot of important pieces of Main Street.
I
There's lots
agree.
of buildings down there that are
What's
empty right now.
the negative, what's the downfall of having the right of first refusal?
Because then you, if you were to buy it back, you're then putting the town in a position where you have a liability
And we may,
to take
we
care of.
may be up for
and-
that
and
in
do all
the
this
future,
stuff.
who knows?
You don't know.
Maybe all the enhancements will be so substantial, we turn it into something else, we have no idea what it's gonna be in 2 or 3 years, we don't know. I think the option is wise. I don't see any downside to it.
Any other
Well,
comment?
at some point, if you don't, again, there's no really downside that we can see to having an adoption, as long as there's no dollar amount attached to it. If the town chooses not to exercise that option, then that certainly is up to the town.
Right.
At some point, the town may, the group might want to do something different with the theater, with the project, but I think our bylaws say we have to also offer it to another nonprofit group, and it might be a nonprofit group that's very successful as well, and that would create a competition with the town, so you may not want to exercise that option anyway, because the price might be too high for you at that point, but there's really nothing to lose by leaving it in there. In my opinion, I think the group feels that way as well.
Right.
Yeah, I think we all anticipate it's gonna be worth so much, we wouldn't even want the opportunity, right?
We won't be able to afford it.
We were $10 million and we're, I mean, it's booming and.
Well, and the
That's
whole
what we're-
idea is to create value for the town
Yeah.
by having this be a success,
Absolutely.
and drawing people into town to spend their dollars and enjoy our revitalized community and all of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments from the council? And then again, this is just to put it to public hearing, so.
So someone's just gonna make the change before the public hearing, and then there'll be something we discuss then. Again,
There'll be another version of it, and it'll be much more general, might just say, terms to be, agreed upon, at the time, basically, and that will be what we bring forward to public hearing, if there's an agreement with that, and, yeah.
All right, since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2569, please signify by saying aye.
I,
All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, when resolution 2569 passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
so excited, wish you so much success.
All right, moving on to resolution 2570. Nicole.
Resolved that the town council approves the request for proposals for a planning consultant.
Look for a motion from the council.
Make a motion, we 25/7.
Second.
Moved and seconded. So part of our, budget this year, I guess it was in the 6-month budget, was the comprehensive plan for, getting the town's, plan updated. It hasn't been updated since 2013, so we're due for an update. And that's really all this is to get it updated and go out to RFP. So, are there any questions from the audience regarding resolution 2570? Comprehensive plan? There are none. Any questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2570, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2570 passes. Moving on to resolution 2571, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council accept the bid from Blank for 2025 paving.
Look for a motion from the council.
I'll make a motion, we open for discussion, resolution 2571.
Second.
Moved and seconded, thank you. Jack, you just want to briefly. I always got that.
Yep, so we, saw the bid spec, at the last meeting to try to get, some pavement down, within our budget for July to June. I sent this out to a number of paving contractors, and then we put this up on our website. And we got 3 bids back. Got a bid back from B&D Paving out of Herman, Roundy Paving out of Newport, and Wallman Paving out of Winniport. And there's a tabulation in your packet that shows each of the vendors' unit price for the mix. And then their pricing on the prep, which is pavement repair and sweeping. And tallying all that up, we have a low bidder and a bid within our budget from B&B Paving.
Great. And the plan is to pretty much pave all of the cul-de-sac that is Birchwood Terrace area,
Yeah, so we have
except for not Birchwood.
except for Birchwood only because that's so close to being cut up and redone.
And then rebuilding Lancey Street.
Yeah, that's the 800 feet of binder and surface for Lancey Street, and basically it's a maintenance shim on Arbor, Hemlock, Maple, and Hamilton. It's a maintenance shim to improve the road surface for the relatively short term while we still deal with utilities under the street, but at the same time try to address some wheel ruts and just the overall surface of the road that's deteriorated. And so to put a 3/4 inch shim will hopefully get a crown back and help out with the drainage some and get water out of the road and be an improvement.
Yep.
We had budgeted for that, I didn't remember we did, but
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so with Lancey Street, we had 122.5 without Lancey Street, and with Lancey Street, it was like 162.5.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't use some of that general fund to balance that out. Or was there extra from?
There was some of the state money, right? We got some state money for
Yeah,
that.
so it was, I think it was 77,500 in state road assistance funding would be part of that cost, and then the balance was from us. From that.
so do we do anything about this B&B paving?
I was just gonna ask, and yes,
Sorry,
references anywhere.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with them. They've, I've worked with them for several paving seasons in the past, and very high quality work. I would have no concerns from
Great.
B&B.
Glad you've worked with them before, that's great.
That was my concern too. Having some experience with them is excellent.
Yes, that's excellent, that's perfect.
So we're gonna look at going with a little bit of that, that's our recommendation.
What's
Sounds
your, going with the low
Going with
bidder is
B&B.
your-
I would recommend a little bit of B&B paving. Yeah.
knowing they've done a good job in the past. And
I feel comfortable with that, knowing we've worked with them before, and feel comfortable with their product, yeah.
yeah, you guys good with?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, seems
They're
good.
very good company.
Great, okay, you worked with them too?
Yeah, I've worked with them many times.
Good.
Okay, good. Are there any other questions or comments from the council?
In that case, I'll amend my motion to adopt resolution 2571 to accept the bid from B&B Paving of Herman.
A second.
Moved and seconded. With the amount left over, is there anything more we could do?
So,
It's like 30.
so,
little over 1,000.
so here's the thing this is all unit pricing, right? So it's hard to, so you have the column here with this estimated tonnage.
Yeah,
And that's based on the length and the width and putting a 0.75 shim. But there's some sections, I'll tell you right now, it's got some.
Like a 4-inch, yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be some like 3-inch shims to fill in some of the wheel ruts to get a crown back.
Yeah.
So I do think we're gonna be over on the actual tons. Because we're gonna lose a little bit more shim than these tonnages. But I think that because it's coming in at the 131, that we're gonna be very well off as far as our budget goes.
Oh, okay.
But it wouldn't surprise me to see that push up to maybe, either 145 or something like that,
Oh, okay.
based on the actual shim they're gonna need.
Had to ask.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Good thinking.
All right.
it could be though, they very well could do a little money left over.
All right, since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2571 as amended, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Resolution 2571 passes. Moving on to resolution 2572.
Resolved that the town council accept the proposal to purchase a 2023 excavator with the tree.
He's on my phone. Do you guys want this?
That's a plate.
Yeah. So where should it?
Happy dinner or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know where we were. Oh, you were reading.
I read it.
You read it?
Want me to read it
Okay,
again?
sorry.
Okay,
No, you're.
okay.
Look for a motion from the council.
I mean, you adopt resolution 2572.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Jack, did you wanna mention anything, or this is an excavator we talked about?
Yeah, it's an excavator. Yeah, it's an excavator that allows us to trade in the one that we have, get the 18,000 pound excavator that would serve our needs. This machine from Chadwick Bay Ross is one that the inventory is new, even though it's been a rental unit. They've rented it out. It's got 975 hours on it, but they've rented it out. It comes back. They go over it every time. So it's in, like I said, the inventory is new. It does have some hours on it. When I was talking to Tyler about the machine, if it was a 2025, I think he was saying this is a 2023. So if it was a 2025 machine, it would be over 140,000 new. So he feels that this is a very, very high quality machine for its condition and meeting what we're looking for. And it does allow us to borrow a little less money, we get put in the budget up to $64,000 of a lease purchase, and we would be down under 45,000. And I say down under 45,000 because if we wanted to extend the warranty, it would bump us up a little bit over the 40, maybe 4,200 and some change. So yeah. So we can buy a two-year, 2,000 hour premier warranty for $2,080, or we can bump that out to 3 years, 2,000 hours for $2,400. And I think that the rate per hours on the machine, I think that three years, would still be under the 2,000 hours. It's just not something we're going to use every day, all day. It's a job specific machine. So I think either one of those extended warranty proposals would be beneficial for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think, so all right, yeah, it would be at like 42.4 if we went with the 3 year, roughly.
Or $320 down an extra year of coverage.
Yeah, no
No-brainer.
for 3 years, more coverage, yeah. It's a no brainer. All right, thanks, Jack. Are there any questions? Comments from the audience on resolution 2572? None, or,
We have to say that along with the,
oh,
we said, we got to
And
say
then
what
more.
we're purchasing it for and.
Uh,
Amount, or,
it doesn't say it in the resolution, so. Do we need to,
amend the resolution to include the warranty, maybe?
yeah, we could probably do that.
do we approve the actual purchase later on, like with a dollar amount, does it come back again?
We could approve it with the 42,400. Cause, I know that when he wrote up the sheet that you have, it just spit it out with dock fee and tax, which he realizes won't be on there. So he said, he said, just look at the base price and then he'd process it, but it would be $42,400 if you want to include the warranty.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can say that we accept the proposal to purchase the excavator with the addition of the 3-year extended warranty of $2,400.
We're buying off this quote. We pay main sales tax.
And no, so he said, he said, disregard that. No, well, actually, that
That
just.
was the tax will get
that's
wiped out, now we get put in.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
exactly, but he generated that out of his system just so we could see all the specs of it, basically.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
We can accept it as amended, maybe? Sure.
So vote to amend and then vote to accept it as amended.
Yep.
Make a motion that we amend resolution 2572. To state that we're gonna purchase the excavator for 42,400 with a addition of a 3-year extended warranty.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of resolution 2572 as amended, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2572 as amended passed. Moving on to resolution 2573. Nicole.
Resolved that the town council approve an RFP for a new 3-quarter ton truck for the public works department.
Look for a motion from the council.
Motion, we adopt 2573.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments?
This is the vehicle we talked about too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Jerry and Donna both had a chance to go over that and look it over and believe that to meet all of our needs. And
It's the same criteria that we just purchased one for the water and sewer.
it's very similar, pretty much, the two good, yeah.
Okay. Any questions from the audience on resolution 2573? Hearing none. Any questions, comments from the council? Hearing none, since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2573, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2573 passes. Moving on to resolution 2574, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council waive the bid policy to follow the state bid package for police cruisers and to accept the proposed bid of Quirk Auto Group of Augusta in an amount not to exceed $47,850 for a 2024 fleet non-retail Ford Police F-150 Cruiser.
Look for a motion from the council.
I move we adopt resolution 2574.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Jack, are there any issues?
The liquor license?
Mention with 2574
I know, I saw the same thing, I forgot it worked.
or Denny,
Yeah,
for that matter? I think we're,
yeah, there's just the leftover 2024s right there still on the lot that allow us to get a competitive price on.
Right, they're still brand new vehicles, just they're holdovers, so get a better price.
all right.
What's the discount then?
I don't know what the 25s are going for right now. All I know is that was the price that they kind of froze from last year.
Okay.
Are these outfitted completely, or do you have to put all electronics and all that?
Yeah, no, these are stripped,
Strip,
yeah, just stripped vehicles, just like the last one.
Yeah, yeah,
In which we would take all the components from the last vehicle that we're gonna rotate to someplace else in the city
yeah,
or the town, for use, but all those parts. We should be able to reuse like we did last time,
majority.
so which kept the cost of building it down significantly. So,
Okay. Great. Are there any other questions or comments from
What
the
do we
audience?
decide
or
with the
council?
oldest vehicle?
What?
The oldest police vehicle?
what's that?
What did we end up deciding with, to do with the oldest?
The direction that I was given, was that it would go to, the codes.
Yeah.
And be used as a vehicle for, the town, if someone needs to run to the hardware store or whatever, it'll be an unmarked vehicle,
So you'll be able
Sure.
to use it?
so,
Good, good.
which will keep his mileage reimbursement down.
And the printers out of his personal vehicle. Good, awesome.
Any other questions, concerns, or comments regarding resolution 2574? Hearing none, since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2574, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2574 passed. Moving on to resolution 2575, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council approve the renewal of the alcoholic beverage license for the Broken Cutter Restaurant and Lounge at 382 Heartland Avenue, Pittsfield, Maine, 04967.
Look for a motion from the
I'll
council.
make a motion to adopt resolution 2575.
Moved and seconded. It was just a housekeeping thing to let the putter continue to serve alcoholic beverages. Are there any questions from the audience? Any questions from the council?
Isn't there usually a special entertainment license that goes with this Nicole?
He did not apply for that this year.
Okay. I just remember they're usually like paired up that they get to.
All right. Any other questions? Hearing none, since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2575, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2575 passes. Moving on to resolution 2576, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council appoint members to boards and committees from the list provided.
Look for a motion from the council.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2576.
Second?
Moved and seconded. So this is to appoint folks to various committees. We want to appoint Frederick Gunther to the Airport Committee, Michael Lynch to the Board of Appeals Committee, Philip Levine and Frederick Gunther to the Board of Assessment Review, Philip Levine and Nancy Montero to Economic Development Committee team, Nancy Montero to Planning Board, and Nancy Montero to the Recycling Committee. All those have multiple seats available. The Economic Development Committee team would be full according to this, but all the others would have seats still available.
I had a resident stop in the office yesterday, and he expressed his interest in being appointed to the Board of Appeals. His name is Justin Butzkovich. Just had a few questions about, the frequency of meetings and so forth, but he said he was very interested if, could be considered to be appointed to the appeals board. And I know that there is business that needs to be put in front of the appeals board. And would be timely if, that board was able to meet with a quorum and be able to kind of clear the docket of things that have backed up a little bit for appeals. So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, it would probably be helpful to have more than the bare minimum of a quorum too. I know Mike makes it a quorum, but having an extra person would probably be helpful in case somebody can't make it or whatnot. Do we have any, did he fill out anything?
It was just
Not much
yesterday,
about it.
so I don't have anything other than. Yeah, other than him impressing his, interest in doing it.
Okay, is that? Guess we can put him on the list as well.
Sure.
Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments? Regarding resolution 2576? Hearing none, since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2576 with the addition of Justin Lipskovich to the Board of Appeals. Please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2576 passes. That's excellent. We appreciate everybody's willingness to help. Moving on to discussion items. Tonight we have an MOU between the town of Pittsfield and MCI regarding the conveyance of certain MCI properties adjacent to Main Street. Jack, you want to talk about it or?
So, this, involves the Villages Partnership Project. The process that I think wrapped up late last year where the DOT worked with the town to kind of conceptualize major improvements to the Main Street corridor that goes from, beyond MCI, actually past the hospital, which I think that got modified. And so I know the DOT spent a lot of time trying to make sure that, we got kind of the best outcome in and around the MCI campus with vehicles going in and out, pedestrians going in and out. And part of, and I know that in the concept of the VPI, there were some of the MCI grounds that was involved that could potentially be involved in the VPI project. But the only way that happens is if it actually transfers from MCI ownership to town ownership. So I know like Vincent Street is, town ownership, but some of the parking lots that would be involved, would have to be actually under town ownership. And that could either be because it was deeded to us or because it was an easement was granted to us, but there'd have to be some, legal interest on the part of the town in order for, the project to include those as improvements. And so at the conclusion of that, the next step, if we're gonna move forward with the VPI, and we're gonna include those parts of the concept, there would need to be, at least at this stage, memorandum of understanding that if the VPI moves forward, that MCI and the town agree on making this conveyance of property. And so what I've done is I've heard from, MCI in terms of, what they would like to see.
Again, I did too.
Yeah.
Somebody's coming.
Yeah. So we kind of have, what MCI has laid out as far as, what that conveyance would look like, and it makes sense in terms of, how the town could be, involved, and a lot of this MOU is really, for a lot of specifics to be worked out later. In terms of, and this MOU talks about, with these properties under town ownership, there would be a level of collaboration in terms of the maintenance of the grounds, right? That, if it's town owned, we're going to have, some level of maintenance responsibilities. But we also talk about the collaboration between the town and the school so that everything gets done when it needs to be done and how it needs to be done. But there's a lot of details that have to be worked out in the actual conveyance. This is just an understanding that if both sides are willing to move forward in this general direction. And this would only happen again if we get the Villages project under the design phase and we get it advanced enough through the design phase where we're ready to apply for the federal funding. We get to that point, in order to have it in the project, we'd have to have these conveyances done. We wouldn't do it any sooner than we needed to, and once we knew it was actually gonna move forward. So that's kind of, what it is and why it, has come about and what the purpose of it is.
And it helps Jared too, right, in the next phase, having this.
Right, it basically helps keep the project that we've conceptualized intact, to involve these areas of the MCI campus. It keeps that intact as we, move into the design phase, because that would all get designed. Whenever you do a conveyance, you have to give legal descriptions of, the strip of land you're gonna grant an easement, or the roadway, or whatever, you have to describe it. So that all those descriptions would be part of the design phase. We'd be able to describe them because you'd have the survey information, and you would have detailed information to work off from. That all can be accomplished with an MOU in place that just says, yes, we agree in principle, MCI and the town agree in principle to move forward in this way.
Are there any questions, concerns, comments from the audience or the council at this point?
Who drafted the MOU? I can't see.
I pretty much took the, I guess, the information that I got through MCI in terms of, what they, could envision, structuring that certain areas would be just conveyed and some would be granted easements. Doesn't really matter whether it's conveyed or granted easement, as long as we have an interest in it. So I just kind of took that from MCI in terms of what they would propose, and I just kind of put it into an MOU format, and then I let our attorney look at it. And his pretty much one and only comment is there's a lot of detail that will need to be put into the conveyances in terms of the descriptions of the property and in terms of what we agree upon in terms of maintenance and collaboration and so forth. But at this stage, it's fine. This is feedback on it.
As far as the difference between a conveyance and actual ownership for the town, the athletic parking lot is like that new triangle shaped parking lot for the northwest of the football field. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
That's considered the athletic field that would be conveyed, not an easement one. So we would be responsible for like the long-term care of the parking lot and upkeep and whatnot. Versus
Yeah,
if it were an easement, then MCI, we would have, an easement would give us the right to do the work, but then MCI would be responsible for the regular upkeep. I'm just thinking of like snow plowing and, all those kinds of things that.
So from a legal standpoint, if you have an easement, you have the right to go in and maintain it, but not the obligation. If you own something, then you have certain maintenance obligations. If it's a parking lot, it's different than if it's a road. If it's a town road, you have to maintain the town road to a standard. You have to fix potholes. You have to do winter maintenance if it's a town road. So that's the biggest difference. Now, we want to understand what our sort of legal obligations are, but we also want to be good partners with MCI, right? So if we own a parking lot, I think we want a pretty good understanding that at what level of, at what point, are we willing to go in and, do pavement repair, cut out the potholes and put it back, stuff like that. The good news is that if this is constructed, it's gonna be, brand new, say 3 years from now. It will be a while before, much will need to be done, but still there'll come a day when something's gonna need to be done, and that's, just needs to be, I guess, understood. And something that, that we kind of talked about a little bit too is the areas where, we would be expected to do winter maintenance. We have to be able to prioritize that with streets, right? So when we talk about collaboration, it's not necessarily that MCI wouldn't be maintaining, those areas at all in the wintertime, But it would be an understanding that we're both gonna do it, and, you know, we may not be able to do it solely ourselves. You know, in time to, you know, get the kids into school, you know, on a 2-hour delay. Let's say the snow, there's a 2-hour delay, you know, we have to be, you know, it'll be a team effort, you know, for the school to get underway on time, not just strictly a town effort.
The example we mentioned was that back parking lot.
Yeah.
Not a high priority for the town, obviously a very high priority for MCI because that's where all the kids park. So they would,
Right.
you know, clear it just like they do now.
They clear
And
it,
we
then
wouldn't-
we go through and sand it during the day.
Right,
Yeah.
like that, so that's the collaboration level that they were thinking of and we're thinking of at the same time. Good, for now, we'll see this probably a lot more going forward, but. All set, Jack, nothing we need to do beyond that.
I just, you know, wanted to do, kind of put it up there for discussion purposes. I'll still, I'll be getting some feedback from MCI on the actual MOU format. They kind of gave me concepts. They'll probably have some comments on the MOU format itself. And then, and I may get a few comments from Jared on the MOU format. The biggest purpose of this is just to make sure that it meets whatever DOT needs to keep us moving in the process. And so, the next time we see this, it'll probably have a few, you know, minor revisions based on, what I hear from MCI and then DOT, but. For now, that's kind of where we're at.
Great. All right, moving on to. Public comment, is there any public comment tonight?
I had something I wanted to run by you guys, just so we can out, so we have like a very limited time. We have pulled together a committee for the new festival.
Mhm.
And they set a date, so I'm pretty sure we have to bring that in front of you guys, we'll probably go on the next one. I think it has to be in front of public hearing too for that, so I know there's only one meeting.
Is it a festival permit? What is it? What is-
To take over for what was the Egg Festival, now it's gonna be the Pittsfield Community Festival. The group thought it had to come in front of you, so we just kind of want to give you guys a heads up that we're bringing that in August.
What's the ask to create the group or to, yeah, to hold the festival in town, right?
Right,
It's for the permit, right? It's just
Yeah.
a festival permit, right?
Is that all that would require?
I'm looking at Nicole, is there an festival permit?
We've never done a festival permit for, the egg festival, if it was, you know,
Once.
yeah. So I guess it'll depend a little bit on the details of that. But we can talk about.
okay, I just want to make sure I throw it out there since I think there's only one meeting in between now and the date of the festival.
What day is that?
Well, it's-
The 21st to the 23rd.
Of August?
Oh, sounds like,
Where is it again? Where's it gonna be?
Manson.
sounds like you guys can figure that out and if, whatever we need to do.
Yeah, all right, so whatever we need to do with it, so.
Yeah.
We're all
if we
gonna try to
do-
learn how to do this, I guess, today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? All right, hearing none, councilor comments. Pete?
No comment.
Excellent. Heather?
I only had one question. Jack, when we sat in one of the meetings for the DPI, Jared was talking about, we had some funding to do some trial traffic calming strategies, like at the light and stuff, and I thought that was supposed to happen this summer.
It
I drove
is,
through Stockville the other day and they had the little poles up and the practice like raised tablet things and stuff and I was like, we're supposed to have this year, so.
yeah, we're actually doing it, we're a little bit later than we thought, but, we have to get basically, we have to apply, so we're getting that application in, and then as soon as we get that in, then I think, DOT will come up with the little bollards and stuff. There are 2 locations. Jared was actually out here with another person looking at a couple different sites, and the 2 places that the DOT is suggesting that we do this for the traffic calming is one right in front of MCI and one a little bit further down, and it coincides with the speed changes. So where it goes from 55 to 35, is where they wanted to do one to kind of reinforce, okay, this is really starting to slow down, because and then again, obviously, in front of the school. So those would be the two locations, and I'm hoping that we'll have that, that we'll have that out, either by the end of this month or very early August, and we'll have a few months to see whether it has an effect. The whole idea is that the VPI said that, these devices should, not these devices, but the islands and the signage and the different things that they put in the VPI would slow traffic down, and this is supposed to kind of mimic that. Some lane narrowing. It's just to try to give the feel of things going on to slow traffic, and it's really gonna strengthen the application if we can say that, we clock traffic, one day and we saw a significant difference between, the way it was before and those devices, that gives validation to the VPI to say that it's gonna work, it's gonna have its intended effect. So, yeah.
And along with that, painting crosswalks. There's like no paint on crosswalks anywhere in town. Especially down by A&E where we have the flashing lights. There's a flashing light there, but there's no crosswalk. To tell people why there's a flashing light there, there's just a light and an arrow. And there's no paint like anywhere.
Yeah, we'll be getting those done. I know we wanted to get them done a little bit sooner, but that's like.
Stop when you get two guys.
Yeah.
And you got culverts that are washed out, that are collapsing. Stop when you get two guys to do any of that stuff.
But some of that's state road too.
State doesn't paint any of them.
They make us line everything like that. So if they come and pave something and cover them up, they'll stripe something that they just paved, but the maintenance of lines we have to do for whatever reason.
Should we sub it out, take some load off? I mean, just to get it done? I mean, there's only so many hours, right? Only so much you can do, so. At some point, so yeah, we'll get to it, it'll be December, and the plow truck will be going through.
No, I'm gonna get them started next week.
Okay.
That's my plan, is to get them started.
Is it expensive to have that stuff striped if it's, like, I don't know how that market is?
I don't know what line I'm gonna be even charged to come in and do it.
Okay,
My plan right now is to start them next week.
okay.
No, great. Bob,
I'm back.
welcome back.
It's kind of a surprise when Nicole gave me the call. But, I just want to say that my plan is to finish out this term. Hopefully somebody will take out papers for next election. If not, I may decide to run, but my goal right now is just to finish out this term. I think the people in District 3 need a voice, so I stepped up. The other thing is, we're on a summer schedule for meetings. The next meeting is August 19th, I think. I'm gonna be out of town at that time, so just want to let everybody know that I probably won't be here for the next meeting, so. Other than that, that's all I have to say.
Great, thank you, Bob. Eric?
I'm excited about the theater. For a few years, I was kind of regretting or debating the decision of hanging on to it, and waiting for a different opportunity, and I think it was probably the right move. I think this group has some steam and they seem like they have some heart, and I think that's what it's gonna take to make something like this go. So I'm pretty excited, and just seeing the faces in here, the people that I've known a lot of my life. I know about getting around with it, so I'm excited for that. But it's kind of validation. I don't always know if you're doing the right thing, right? And I think I don't regret the decision, so I think we're headed in the right direction. That's it.
Thank you, Eric. Okay.
I'll say I agree. I'm pumped about the theater. I think we have the right group in the right place at the right time. I feel very positive about it. I can't wait to see what they do. Happy to help however I can. Also wanted to comment that I've noticed, I just think overall things around downtown, around Main Street are looking good. I noticed that all the weeds were being cleaned up, the streets look nice. I see folks out tending to it. I just really appreciate that. I think it looks good. So thank you. And Russ, you're getting shout out on Facebook for all of your great work. I wanted you to know that. The people in town are really appreciating you and think that you're awesome to work with. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And yeah, I'll just say that I'm also looking forward to the movie theater and what the VTech can be doing. Certainly something that a lot of people enjoyed when it was open, and hopefully we can get back there. Also very excited to get paving done up in the Birchwood Terrace area. Cause that was not enjoyable to hear what some of the District 3 folks needed, had to say, but it was certainly validate, worthy of them saying it. Cause I've driven through there and it's pretty bad, so exciting to get that project kicked off and going. And then beyond that, I'll just say, welcome, Bob. Appreciate you coming. So it'll be a little easier to get 4 people here, so that's always a good thing. And yeah, just appreciate it. And that is it. Look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Second.